Ashley's Reading Diaries, and welcome to chapter 2. Today we're going to be starting a little experiment and see how much that I can realistically read in a week, because honestly, sometimes it feels like I be flying through books, and other times I look up and it's been 2 weeks and I haven't finished a single book. Which brings us to my current situation, because it is Sunday, June 14th, and I have yet to finish a book in the month of June. Like, not even one. But to be fair, the book that I have been reading is Real by Kennedy Ryan, and I have genuinely been taking my time with reading this. This is my first Kennedy Ryan book, and I did not want to rush through it because I'm enjoying the characters, I'm enjoying the story, I am enjoying the writing, but now it's time that I finish her up because we need to finish a book. It's the 14th of June. We need to finish a book. I am almost done with it. I have like this much left. So this will be the first book that I finish in this vlog. But the next book that I want to read, I think I want to pivot from romance, because if you have seen my May reading wrap up, you've seen that I was mainly reading romance, like sports romance or dark romance, literally any type of romance. So I think it's time for me to pivot and pick up a thriller, and I'm thinking about picking up The Obsession by Natasha Preston. I just need something different. I need some suspense. I just need a change in pace. So the plan is, from today, Sunday, to Friday, we will be tracking my reading and see how much I can read during the week while life happens, because I do work full time. Sometimes life just be life, and to the point where I just want to come home and just go to sleep and don't want to do anything. Plus, also, I watch Love Island every single day. So I gotta have time for my Love Island. I gotta have time. So come along with me, grab a book, grab a drink, and come to the chaos. Hi guys, happy Monday. I just got home from work, literally just walked through the door like mere minutes ago, and I want to give you an update on Real by Kennedy Ryan. So last night I stopped at chapter 57. I read about 24 pages before I started watching Love Island with my friend, but I did read some more of Real on my lunch break. I am now at chapter 63. So I read a good little chunk on my lunch break. I do plan on finishing this tonight because I don't have that much left. And I'm actually very excited to get into The Obsession by Natasha Preston. I need a different genre. I don't want to say the 2 words that shall not be named, but I was kind of feeling it creeping in, and I just feel like I need to pivot genres so that that doesn't happen. As for right now, I'm gonna clean up my room a little bit. I'm gonna fold my clothes that I have in the dryer, because I did not do that last night because I low-key forgot about them. And then I'm gonna shower, and then I'm gonna get back into reading Kennedy Ryan, or I'm gonna get back into reading Real before Love Island again tonight. I will see you then. Oh, but actually, while I do that, I should probably listen to the audiobook, because I have the audiobook on Audible. Got it with my free credit. I know that's right. I could definitely listen to the audiobook while I'm doing these things. Totally forgot. I will see you in a bit. Alright, you guys, so I have finally finished Real by Kennedy Ryan, and I have so many thoughts. I feel like this is one of those books that I'm glad that I took my time with it, because Kennedy Ryan's book Like, her writing, I feel like it's something that you should sit in rather than just fly through it. And this book is just so much more than the romance. Of course, I loved the relationship between Neva and Cannon, obvi, but like, I just loved how the story was like way much more than that. The way that this man loves Neva so loudly, but also respects her as a person. Kennedy Ryan knows how to write a man, okay? But the whole reason why I even wanted to even read a Kennedy Ryan book was because I had saw a video on TikTok, and she was answering questions from her fans basically, and she was like, not all men, but a lot of men aren't that great, and I would rather not reflect that in my work, and I would rather write a man that you deserve. And that is what made me want to pick up a Kennedy Ryan book in the first place. And man, oh man, did she deliver. And I think my favorite thing about this book is just watching Neva fight for herself and her dreams, no matter what was thrown in her direction. And I have my rating, but I'm gonna save it for the end of this video. I'm still thinking about Love Island, and I'm actually so irritated. I'm so irritated. I don't know. Anaya is kind of irritating me a little bit. Kenzie and Corbin, they're irritating me. Sincere is the most insincere person I've ever met. I can't. But anyways, now for our next read, which I will be starting this tomorrow because there's no way I'm starting this tonight. It's currently 10:43 p.m. and I have to be to work by 7:45 tomorrow. So I'm going to be hopping into the bed soon. But The Obsession by Natasha Preston. I'm very excited to get into this book. I'm very excited to switch genres. I could not tell you the last time that I have read a thriller. So I'm very excited. I'm very, very, very excited. But I will be heading to bed. I'm tired and I have an early morning. So I'll see you tomorrow. Hi friends. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday. And I have some updates. So I have read 54 pages of The Obsession by Natasha Preston. First, their panic room. The things, I literally wrote this down on my phone in my notes. The way I can't find my phone. I don't know where my phone is. But basically, they have a panic room. And in said panic room, it's just a room with a big deadbolt lock on it. There is a makeup table, there is a ring light, and there's a camera in there. So like, even if somebody was trying to get them and they're in a panic room, they could update the tube, as they said in the book. That's what they said. Update the tube. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Also, this mother does not care or have any regard for her children's safety at all whatsoever. She's been told several times by her best friend, which is a part of the law. Okay, she's a part of the law. It's not safe. It's not safe. You're exploiting your children. People don't need to know. You don't need to film every single little thing. People don't need to know where you live. People don't need to know where you're at the current moment. People don't need to know that. You have no regard for your daughter's safety, like at all, whatsoever. And then another thing is they have like these like 3 main haters, if you could say per se, but they're really just hating on the mom. Really, they're not hating on the 2 daughters, which is Connie and Isla. We have Connie's point of view. This is from Connie's point of view. They're mainly going after the mom because, you know, the mom is the reason why this whole thing even exists in the first place. Connie ends up liking a comment on YouTube from one of like the main 3 haters or whatever you could say. And next thing you know, her Instagram is getting blown up with comments after comments after comments under like every single one of her pictures from like weeks ago, months ago, years ago. Literally every single one of them. It's getting obsessive. I'm scared. She's paranoid, as she should be. Because it's like, okay, I liked one of your comments on YouTube, and now you're going to my Instagram and just flooding my comments. I'm scared. I'm scared. But I'm very intrigued, and I will be continuing. I think me switching genres was a good idea. It was a great idea, actually. I'm very excited to pick this book up again. I'm going to shower. I'm going to get comfy, and then I will read the book. So, I'll see you later, friends.
I know the sound quality is probably like dookie booty right now, but like I don't feel like getting my mic. I really don't. I really don't. But I'm freshly showered, freshly moisturized. Hello, feeling like a glazed donut. And I got my fall ambiance on. I don't care what the setting of this book is. I will always have my fall ambiance on because I love fall. And you know what? I only really need it for the rain sounds anyways. But I'm about to start reading, so leave me alone so I can get back to it. I'm saying that like I didn't just whip out the camera myself. Anyways, I'll see you later. Sugar falls in, I stir it slow, let the calm begin. In these quiet hours, I feel at ease. A simple magic in moments like these. I find the magic in the everyday, in the sweetest sips. Hi friends, happy Friday. It is Friday, June 19th. Happy Juneteenth. And I have not read a single word of any book today. Not at all. But honestly, that is the whole point of this video. It is called How Much Can I Realistically Read in a Week? You know, some days I will read 100 pages and other days I will read absolutely nothing. And you know what? That is totally okay. The last 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, I was actually at my boyfriend's house, so I did not really record much, but I did do a bunch of reading, as you guys saw from the clips. Don't mind my lack of energy. I am very tired. This week drained me, and when I say it drained me, I mean it drained me. And I literally ended up taking a nap from like 2 to 6, and I'm still tired. I don't know how that works, but you know, this is what we're getting today. And you know what? That's the whole point. This is very realistic. I'm being realistic with you. I'm being honest with you. I'm very tired, but I still want to do this video because it's just something that I enjoy doing. Duh. But this week I finished 2 books, so let's talk about them. The first book that I finished was Real by Kennedy Ryan, and I loved this book down. I am officially a Kennedy Ryan girly. I am. I'm going to read every book that she's ever written, and I will read every book that she ever will write. That's just how much I trust this woman. Because of this one book. This is my first impression of her, by the way. Her characters just have so much depth. They feel like actual people with actual lives that deal with actual struggles outside of romance, you know? And I just love how she talks about her romances as like Trojan horse romances. So not only are you getting like a beautiful love story, but she's also adding some like discourse in there so that she can have conversations with her readers, and I absolutely love that. Before I even picked up this book, I was kind of hyping myself up because I already told you guys I saw that one video on TikTok of where she was answering questions from her fans, and then that just squirreled into watching interview after interview after interview of Kennedy Ryan, and it just made me even more excited to read her books. Also, I just really like the way that she talks. I don't know if that's weird, but I just really like the way that she talks. I'm so happy that I finally picked up this book because it had been on my shelf for a little while, and I just gained a new favorite author because of it, and I'm so excited. The next book that I'm planning on reading by her is Score, which she just came out with. I used a gift card to get Score, and that is definitely going to be the next book that I read by Kennedy Ryan because, you know, I already have it on my shelf. But then after that, I will definitely be reading the rest of everything that she has ever written. Maybe that will be like a next month kind of thing though, because, you know, I have ideas. I have ideas for stuff, and I cannot reveal those ideas yet, but I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I originally gave Real 4 stars, but I think I'm going to bump it up to 5 stars because just over the week, just thinking about the story, I really just can't stop thinking about it, and I love it so much, so I'm gonna give it a 5 stars. The second book that I read this week was The Obsession by Natasha Preston. So after basically reading romance after romance after romance, to avoid getting into a reading slump, I decided I would pick up a thriller, so I picked up this one. The premise sounded so interesting. It follows a family vlogger situation, and it was low-key giving me Ruby Frankie vibes, so I was very interested. And for most of the book, I was really into the story and I wanted to know what was going to happen. I did like the main character, but some of her choices really had me stressed out because why are you communicating back and forth with somebody that you think could be stalking you? How does that make any sense? Like, are we okay?
Are we genuinely okay? Like, he's literally commenting on all of his pictures, literally DMing her on Instagram or whatever. But then whenever he like stops texting her, she's like, wait, I kind of mixed him. Like, why hasn't he been texting me? Girl, this is not a dark romance. This is a thriller. You are quite literally actually in danger here. And don't even get me started on the mom, because what do you mean your child is calling you, telling her that somebody might be stalking her and that she's in danger and that people are freaking dying down here? And your response is, we're 20 hours away. You got to figure it out. Go stay with your friends. Have your friends stay with you. I don't know what to tell you. You're kind of selfish for telling us that we need to go back. Like, and I'm like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You literally do not care about your children. You do not care about your children. And then I got to the ending and I was like, where's the rest of the book? Where's the rest of the book? Where's the rest of the book? I finished this book at work and I was quite literally crashing out. Then I found out that apparently Natasha Preston always ends her books in like cliffhangers. So it was definitely an experience, but it was an experience that I never want to experience again. So safe to say I will not be picking up another book by this author. But it was a time. It was a time. Ended up giving The Obsession 1 star because the ending just kind of messed up the whole thing for me, to be honest. Overall, I read 430 pages, which I feel like is pretty good since this week was very draining for me. I finished 2 books. I found a new favorite author, a new 5-star read, and I found an author that might not be for me. So honestly, I feel like it was a really good reading week. But thank you guys so much for spending the week reading with me. I had a very good time. Let me know if you have read these books before and what you rated them if you did, or if you plan on reading the books. Well, this is the end of chapter 2 of Ashley's reading diaries. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!